All right. Do you really need to weld your diff? Do you really need to weld your diff? The answer is fucking hell yes. If you really want to slide that bitch, weld that goddamn diff. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, when you're trying to slide, if you don't know, if you haven't really tried to slide your car or whatever, you're really just trying to get into drifting and shit. It's called, when you try to slide, right? You put your foot all the way on the gas, right? You put your foot all the way down on the gas and you flick the wheel. When you flick the wheel, when the differential opens up, when it opens up, starts shooting power to the other wheel, you'll be sideways, and then power shoots to the other wheel. Now your car is sideways and now it wants to straighten up. But at the same time, when you're trying to straighten up, your car might try to flick to the other side, and now it's just unpredictable. With a welded diff, your car is more predictable. It's unpredictable when you're sideways, and then now your car, you're sliding. Most of the time with an open diff, you're sliding off one wheel, right? You're sliding on one wheel. When you're sliding on one wheel, that's making your one wheel is making your car slide. It's sliding, and then the other diff opens up, so now your other wheel opens up, and now it's just unpredictable. And then it doesn't. Sometimes your car does it predictably, sometimes it does it unpredictably. It just depends on your car. Like this car, and then when the diff opens up, it turns from oversteer to understeer. Like, you go from oversteering, what you are trying to do, go from trying to drift to, oh no, I'm fucked, I'm going into this curve, and this curve is coming up, and a curb is right there, and I'm sliding into the curb, and you can't do shit because you got an open diff, and the diff opened up, and the power's shooting to the other wheel. You know what I'm saying? So to really slide, to really get some angle, first thing you really need to do is weld that diff. And I think that's going to be the first thing I do. It's going to be welding the diff. You know what I mean? Weld the diff. Get the diff welded up. Thing to be able to go sideways. Some people might ask, why a 320 for a drift car? You know what I mean? Because, well, in Germany, watching videos, in Germany, you look at like the tracks and shit. It's a bunch of these. It's a bunch of these, a bunch of these, and old BMWs, and that's what they're drifting out there. Because these out there are most likely dirt cheap. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna try to slide what you can. You're gonna slide what you can on a budget, because it's just what drifting is. Usually, you would try to drift on a budget, because most of us are brokies. That's just what the shit is. Being a car guy, most of us are brokies, and you just gotta figure it out as you go. And the cheapest way to get into drifting is a cheap rear-wheel drive car. You get a cheap rear-wheel drive car, weld the diff, this car will suck and slide. I promise you it will. But yeah, the answer to it is, should you weld your diff? Yeah. You gotta weld your diff, man, because if you don't weld your diff, it's not gonna slide. It's just gonna oversteer. It's gonna understeer. It's gonna oversteer, and then it's gonna start to understeer, and now you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this puddle is. I don't think it's from my car, but I don't like that. But yeah. Do you need to weld your diff? Yes, or else your car will it'll understeer, and then it'll become to oversteer, or the other way around. It's called, yeah. Weld your diff so your car gets sideways and stay sideways, instead of getting sideways, bucking on you, and wanting to fling the other way, and you wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean? It's literally how I crashed my first one, my first 320. That open diff did it to me. I'm not gonna lie. I went, got it into an angle, switched, and then the open diff switched it again, and then yeah, I was just fucked. You know what I mean? But that's another story, though. I'll tell that in a story time video. But yeah, do you need to weld your diff? Yes. If you don't weld your diff, it's not going to lock up correctly. It's not going to lock up. It's not going to spin both the wheels. You're going to be drifting off of one wheel, if that's your right or your left, or sometimes it's your right, sometimes it's your left, sometimes it just depends on how you enter the corner. Depends on your car, you know what I'm saying? But hey, weld your diff. You don't want to have unpredictable things happen when you're sideways at fucking 40, 50 miles an hour and it gets unpredictable, you know what I mean? You want it to be predictable the entire time you're doing stuff, you know what I mean? Yep. All right, y'all. Trying to get into drifting? Weld your diff. First thing you need to do. You don't really. A manual car gives you more entry options for drifting, like clutch kicking and shit like that. But just get you a car. It's rear wheel drive. Learn how to fucking do some shit. You know what I mean? Learn and upgrade as you go. That's all that matters. See y'all, alright? Why this CLK 320 as a drift car? I know you see people go for 350Zs, 370Zs, Street 37s. That's the usual cars. Some people might even go for a 5.7. You weld the diff on a 5.7. You got a drift car. I'm not gonna lie to you. You got something that'll turn sideways. But you know, it depends on you. Why a CLK 320 as my drift car? Well, why I chose 320 is I was watching videos and most drift tracks in Germany, this is what they're driving. They're driving a CLK 320. They're driving CLK 320s modified. Well, not even just 320s. 320s, 430s, 200s. It's called. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. That's what they're driving out there. They're drifting these. They're drifting these out there, and that's just what I found out. That's what I just, you know what I mean? Found out that's what they're drifting, and that's what I felt like. Drift these too, you know what I mean? Not even most of them that I was seeing in Germany weren't even manual. They're still rocking out with the automatic transmission. You know what I mean? Automatic transmission. They threw a hydro brake in there. Threw a fucking hydro brake, welded diff, and that's all you really need. You're fucking sliding, dude. Like that's why I chose this 320 as the drift car, bro. $1,500. Pretty nice looks. Like, if depends on you. If this is your kind of bike style, you know what I mean, this will really be an attractive car to you. But if it's not your body style, that's not your body style. Like, as you can see, this is just the kind of body style that I like, you know what I mean? The no A-pillar. No A-pillar, you know what I mean? That's just the body style that I like. I like convertible cars. It's just my thing. You know, some people hate on what you like, you know what I mean? And you like what you like. Don't let nobody hate on you, bro. Like, for example, I've seen this Toyota. It was a Toyota Sienna turbocharged. It was the turbocharged Toyota Sienna, bro. Like, if that's your thing, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Turbocharged minivan, like turbocharged 4-cylinder minivan, homie. Like, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Go for your thing. You know what I mean? If you like convertibles, buy you a convertible, bro. You know what I mean? There's so much hate behind convertibles. I got a soft top and a hard top, bro. Like, give a fuck, bro. Do what you want to do. Buy what you want to buy. Live your life, bro. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? You don't want to get old and say you wanted it and you never bought it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Live life. Don't get old. Live life, get old, but don't get old and have regrets. You know what I mean? Buy that fucking old Mercedes. Buy that fucking old BMW. Buy that old ass fucking Dodge Challenger that you've been wanting. Buy that old shit, man. Buy that old shit. Don't put yourself in a hole. Buy that old shit. Because all you're doing is, if you don't buy that old shit, one day you're not going to be able to, A, find that old shit, B, ever be able to afford that old shit. So just buy that old shit, bro. Buy that old shit. Enjoy that old shit. Rebuild that old shit and have fun with that old shit. Enjoy your shit box, bro. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Work on your car. Keep on wrenching. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's all I really got to say. CLK 320. That's why I chose it as my drift car, bro. It's cheap. This is what they're drifting in Germany. They're drifting these. They're drifting old ass BMWs, E36, E39, old ass shit. They drift old German cars out there, and they're drifting whatever. And you don't see these often. You don't see these often anywhere. Well, at least where I live in Atlanta, you don't see CLK 320s often at all. So, yeah. That's why I chose this as my drift car. I'm going to be working on it, making videos about it. Tune in, all right?